Alazum Stronghold is the second map in the best of 3 between Vortix, starting to the top right here, and Revenge, starting to the top left. Currently, the Terran player is in the lead after a great first game that he played. At the beginning, Vortix really looked like he was the one calling all the shots and doing all the right moves, and then he had a bit of a problem when he was going for a massive attack, doing a lot of damage to Revenge and really forcing his opponent back. It looked for a second like he might be able to win the game right then and there, but then he discovered that at the bottom right there were still 2 drops wreaking havoc in his mineral line. Big problem for Vortix, and he needed to fall back with all of his Mutalisks, everything that was just like trying to take down the exposed Terran player's position at the top left had to suddenly retreat and defend at home. So in the end, Vortix losing a lot more in that exchange than he gained, and Revenge was able to gain a lot of headway in that, able to get these upgrades out, able to buy himself a little bit more time, and that really worked in his favor then. At some point it really looked for a second like Vortix might be able to bounce back, especially when he had the Ultralisks in the game and surprised Revenge a little bit with them. We were able to take down a lot of the Marines and really push his opponent back again, but then the big problem was really that Revenge already had the economy and the bank and the production to adjust very quickly to what Vortix was doing, and with good moves claimed then the win on map number 1. So great game for Alien Invasion. Great game for Revenge. Vortix, though, a very strong player, the best player arguably in the current lineup of Team Mousesports, and if he can bounce back here, then he could definitely also take a third map. For now, we have gas taken for Revenge, and we will most likely see him with a standard Reaper opening, at least so far. That's kind of what we could expect here. And the question, of course, rather being how exactly Vortix is going to open up into this game. We've seen a lot of Terran players go into a fast command center on a map like this, since it's very easy. You have a pocket expansion all the way back here, and the only position that you have to hold is the ramp up here at the front, since it's the only entrance. So command center first is definitely not unheard of, and if you Zerg players, especially in the matchup against Protoss, you decide to go for the double hatch before pool. Against Terran it's not all that common, but we see it every now and then if a player really wants to gamble a little bit and take that risk early on, because the problem that you of course have is that if there is the Reaper opening, it's so much more difficult for you to really hold that off, since your spawning pool is delayed, and that will also delay your queen. So if you want to play it safe, you kind of want to go for that spawning pool, but every now and then players will risk it regardless. The SCV now moving in and already confirming very early in the game that Vortix spawns top right. This is of course something that works great for Revenge right now. He gets a first scout off immediately and sees everything. Sees also especially that there is currently no gas taken. And a variation of that build where you get your early third base is that you just get it after you have your spawning pool, and then really try to get it as fast as possible without relying too much on speed. But something that Vortix really likes to do anyways is going into the additional queens and have those 4 queens at the beginning, rely on the defense with those, and that allows him to also gather up the additional energy for injects, for transfusers, and of course victims. So for now, let's see if there's actually a kill somewhere here for the Reaper. It would be a great move for Revenge, but yeah, nice move. Going straight for the Spore Crawler to bring that drone out of harm's way, and even another one that he has in position. So great micro here, especially by Vortix. But Revenge is going in again, and he is really trying to make that happen somehow and get finally a kill on the drones. Even has a second Reaper there, and that's not all that he has. He goes straight into 3. With 3 Reapers, you need to kind of do some damage. It's great in the mid game, or in the early mid game at least, to kill creep tumors, even damage queens too, but it's also something where you really want to be sure that you do at least some damage with it. And we're going to most likely see Banshees here, since we also have the second gas being taken instead of the third command center, and that usually means that we're going to see a starport with a tech lab once that this the factory is completed, and that would mean Banshees in the game. Reapers are moving in, and the one thing if you really want to go for Banshees that you need to do, or that you want to do, is get those queens low. Get shots in. Try to lure them off creep and get a couple of kills in. Maybe not even kills, just try to do some damage to them. The lower the queens, the better for the Banshees. Then you will always be in a position where you then can just simply, with the Banshees, kill the queen. And there's already our starport, as already mentioned. No third base just yet, supporting our theories even more. And the Reapers still trying to just move and do something. 1 kill on the drones, 1 on the Zerglings, that's what he has so far. There comes that tech lab that we talked about already earlier. No scouting information for Vortix at this point. It's just about the queens for him. And he goes into a very, very fast tech into the hatch here, trying to get his lair up. For example, if you compare it to the speed, we do not have speed just yet. There's like nothing over here at the front, even a block with evolution chambers in case there's a commitment with Hellions that I can block that. But what he will need is definitely a Spore Crawler or two, because that Banshee is building, and there's also already the cloak upgrade. But we have the Roach Warrior now on the way, and that is starting to change things up quite a little bit. With the Roach Warrior already in the mix and the fast tech into lair, we could also see him with all kinds of shenanigans. I highly doubt that we're going to see some kind of Nidus network, even though I love that style. But we don't really have the vision for him. There's only one Overlord over here. But even if he just like has those roaches to push this army back, that's already going to help him. And maybe at some point he just decides to go for it, because everything that we currently see for Revenge is not that great against roaches. Even the Banshee will take a long time to kill a roach, and during that time those guys can absolutely devastate a Terran base. So here comes the speed upgrade for the Overlords. To be absolutely honest with you, if he really goes for a lot of roaches right now, I would love a Nidus network. I don't think we're going to see that. It's still something that is not used all that much, because it's quite the investment, and at the same time, yeah, you always ask yourself, okay, is it really worth it? But it would be great for him to see that, and that Overlord is actually in a pretty decent position to get one in. But for now, we have the Banshee trying to do the damage, and 1 kill already so far. The Spore Crawler is already on the way, and of course the Reapers and the Hellions trying to move in all the way here at the front, while the Banshee is trying to distract at the natural. Not really working just yet, and the one thing that we really want to see, or that Vortix wants to get, is that third base. Kind of needs that third. Wants to get a kill in there. Needs to be careful though. Yeah, the Banshee is getting quite a few shots, and wow, survives just barely. 4 kills, and roaches at the front, making sure that all those Hellions don't get through. So alright, for now, great defense by Vortix. Doesn't leave himself open to anything. Doing quite some damage there. And towards the Hellions and the Reapers, and of course also repelling that Banshee, which was very important. Getting the third base into the game. And that's something that we also see for his opponent with the command center built on the high ground now. But yeah, +1/+1 is going to be on the way. Overlord still here waiting, and of course going to spread the creep to deny a base. But what about our Banshee, who's moving in once again? This is actually Banshee number 2 that is going to make a move now. In total, we still have those 2 Banshees. The other one went all the way back at home. Overlord, by the way, trying to get some scouting information here. Didn't get too much. And here comes the Banshee. Trying to skirt the edges of the Spore Crawler's range, and at the same time it's also about the roaches repelling the Reapers once again. To the top, yep, there we go. Banshee finally finding a sweet spot here on top of the Spore Crawler, at least for a few seconds, but it's now time for the roaches to move cross map. And that kind of is what I talked about earlier. Everything that we currently see for Revenge is not really all that great against roaches. Even that Banshee, look how much time it needs to kill a single roach. And we have 2 Marauders. That might change things a little bit. But the first supply depot is already gone, and the Zerg player is suddenly in the base, starting to do his damage here. The SCVs, they come off the mineral line. He's going to lose quite a few of those now. He's going to lose quite a few SCVs, as you can see. A single Banshee is just not going to be enough. But we have 3 CCs already. Contaminate being used. I love it. No more Marauders in there. So great use of the Overseer and its energy. Really great move. More roaches streaming in, but so many harvesters already taken down. 21 in total lost. But keep in mind that with a triple command center, with a triple mule, you can compensate for a lot of lost harvesters. So we have those roaches still in the main base, still trying to do the damage. They could actually cancel an upgrade here, but they just go straight for the SCVs again, and if he kills even more harvesters, I think it's going to be lights out for Revenge, because yes, triple CC is pretty awesome, but it only goes that far. I mean, the harvester count now is 16 to 64, and at some point, even a triple CC cannot really make up for the resources lost any longer and for the harvesters lost. He's not stopping. He is just going straight for those harvesters again. And by now, how many did he actually kill? He killed 44 harvesters. This roach aggression here absolutely demolishing the entire economy of the Terran player. He's not even stopping. Like, he's still going for that. Harvester after harvester is being eliminated. He killed 48, nearly 50. The harvester count now is 12 to 71. At this point, if you think about it, the harvester count of Vortix is nearly doubling the overall supply of Revenge. Absolutely insane. Even more roaches being doing their damage here. And this does not only give Vortix a lot of time to just get his tech up with the 2-2, for example, the range upgrade for the Hydras, but also just go for the next set of army that he can send cross-map, take the map, take the game, force a third one. We have a fourth base being built, that base over here. Did he really kill it? No, he lifted it onto the high ground, of course. So that's a pretty cool move that we have there so far by him. Very, very well played. And I have to say that Vortix with the perfect timing here. So, did that really well. But now the double Banshee is making a desperate attempt to, I don't know what, like, come back. Maybe at least, yeah, I really don't know what the Banshees are trying to do. I think he has to occupy his hand somehow, that 200 APM that he has at this point. Because Revenge is basically dead in the waters. Well, we have siege tanks right now. You know how many siege tanks do we have? We have one siege tank, he's getting a second one. The problem really being that even if he is able to withstand an attack towards his main and natural, a third base, setting that up is going to be super difficult. But let's say he sets that up. He still is up against a Zerg player who is already on 4 bases, who has a hive tech completed, +2/+2 done before this one is halfway done. The 3-3 will start. The only thing that that Vortix has to do right now, if he wants to play it safe, is to make sure that he is not allowing his opponent a third base. That's the only thing that he has to do. He sees the siege tanks, he's like, alright, that's fine. You have your siege tanks, that's okay. You do not have a third base, and that's more important to me right now. We have a few infestors being built. Should probably get a couple of spore crawlers down here. I'm actually surprised that he doesn't get them. There we go. Gets 2. He spreads the creep, and yeah, he kills the Banshees as well. So now that one tool that Revenge had to be a bit active on the map is gone as well. But yes, things are looking like this is the time when, I don't know, when you just break together on top of your keyboard and you start to cry and you blame imbalance that you just lost the game. That's what we currently see. QXC in the situation would smash his keyboard, type G, and then leave the game. Yeah, we've seen all kinds of reactions. Idra, if he was Revenge, would leave the game. If he was Vortix, would now leave the game too. And, well, we have a bit of a drop attempt. So Revenge, not... well, there comes the fun. No. Hi. Hello. Hello there. Hello, Mr. Infestor. Would you dare to try a fungal? No, sir. No. Thank you. Thank you very much. I like my energy. Yeah, the Infestor basically gets an F. And that's not an F for fungal, that's an F for failure. So, it didn't do anything there, but still not enough guild by Revenge to make up for what's happening there. So, with Vipers now coming into play, with still no third base for the Terran player, and by the way, he's really covering his bases, or his opponent's bases, I should say. It's a job here, taking down another Overlord. There comes the fungal. Alright, this Infestor this time gets an A. But yeah. Vipers in the game now, quite a few of those, 4 in total, +3 attack upgrade also started and on the way. 5th base is being built, 7 spore crawlers, spine crawlers are being built, kind of everywhere right now, making sure that even if there is a drop, it's not going to do too much, whereas Revenge is going to go for the 3-3 here. And even the creep spread. So this base can't even just set down. It's going to take at least another minute for the creep to recede. And, well, 10 spine crawlers are being built. Gets the Ultulus Cavern as well and moves cross map and is like, ha! Third base? Really? You think I'm going to allow you a third base? What gave you that idea? So, moving in now, and the Overlord having another quick look. The siege tank already going to the front. And yeah, that's just not going to be a third. No spine crawlers over here, so this base is probably going to die. There's the Blinding Cloud against the first siege tank, and the Fungals are going strong. Needs a few more Blinding Clouds, or at least Abducts. Yep, there's the Abduct, alright, and the siege tanks, now they are gone. And Revenge is going to type out very soon here. Has a few drops going cross map and trying to do something, maybe change the course somehow. Sees the spore crawlers and the spine crawlers, realize it's not going to happen here. Sees the spores and the spines over there. Might be able to do some damage, but in the end, he's not going to stop this army. This is just not going to happen. this is gonna be GG, and therefore we'll see a third game between the two of them. Decisive game here in the series between Revenge and Vortix. Vortix just taking down the production structures of opponent now. And there's the tap out. Revenge, GG's, and Vortix claims victory and brings us into a third game.